All right, welcome to the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network, where I am here to upload a series of vlogs on my reality, my life that has been perpetually under a electronic surveillance from thousands of people, including friends and family who's groomed me since I was a child. And then there's thousands of people that follow me everywhere I go in my vehicle or either walking. Um, this is basically a return to the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network. As I said on the last vlog, I was going through some academic challenges, so I didn't want to um, burden myself with any of the drama and the perpetual terrorism. A lot has gone on, just like I said would, since last time, including on the day of my birthday, um, Independence Day, all of that stuff, which I'm going to collectively put together day by day from moving forward. I'm just now returning to the channel. Um, just to give you kind of like an appetizer of what's been going on. Basically, every day I still have the vehicles passing by my house whenever I open like the back door and I let the dogs out. Even when I'm going through doors inside my house in different rooms, I went back and looked at my cameras, and their timing when I move through the house, they will then pass by the house. So if I'm going through a door, let's just say in the kitchen or something, and there's a door, maybe in the living room, even the dog kennels, if I'm touching a door, they'll drive by. And so they're aware of what's going on inside of my house. And let's just start with the return around. I don't want to get around my birthday too much because I have a bunch of like videos and pictures that I want to upload. I just kind of want to like go very briefly over some things because I want to keep it around 20 minutes. This vlog today, and I believe I ended right around the end of June. Okay, and so I didn't pay really close attention to what day, so I'm gonna have to go back again. But here's what happened starting like in July, for example. I made appointment for a doctor. And when I went to the doctor, I had some job opportunities pinging my email. And one of those job opportunities was for occupational medicine and to work a night shift, right? In my email. And then when I went to the doctor's office, it looks like July 1, or somewhere around that time, the intake nurse who was doing my registration and basic preliminary assessment started asking me if I was like an EMT. I sounded like an EMT. And she said, looks like you do night shift. And she basically having a conversation about the job opportunity that was pushed to me via my email days prior. Okay. That's all. I go through this a lot where they're communicating with me. It could be a company way out west somewhere, or even right here in Birmingham or in Bessemer or wherever, right? It could be even in Virginia. And then what happens is you go out to a doctor's appointment, the grocery store, you go to school. And what happens is they'll have a conversation about what's going on in your emails. Okay. And they'll ask you the pertinent information about things in your life. And the pertinent information is not bizarre and it's not coincidental. We're going to target what's going on with your communications in your private quarters, and we're going to ask questions about that. And so that's what I had to deal with at the doctor's office around July 1. On the 4th of July, I had these vehicles coming through nonstop every time, and I'm going to upload all that. On my birthday, I walked outside, let the dogs out, and there's a white SUV parked in my neighbor's driveway, which I've never seen before. I've been here 3 years now, almost. Never seen this particular SUV there. And on my birthday, they made sure to park it right there. So when you open the door, you see it's right there in the driveway. July 7th, since I've been pushing out applications because I don't work outside anymore. Also, I forgot to say, there's so much to say that, again, I'm just going to kind of skim over. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but as you already know, I stopped going to Walmarts and grocery stores. I no longer go to the gym, so I quit my memberships because I'm working on getting a home gym now. And there's a bunch of stuff that was going on, which I'm going to touch on. And so I'm pushing these applications. This is moving forward into like the last half of the week, like July 7th ish. And I'm pushing these applications forward. And this girl from this company calls me. It's called Infotech. And she calls me and tells me that there's like a entry level and an experience level position opened. She starts telling me that she's going to send me some information, this, that, and the other thing. Never calls me, nothing. She says, you have any questions, call me back, yada, yada. I'll be more than happy to help you out, this, that, and the other thing. Long story short, she never called me back. I tried to call her. She never answered. So they're playing with your occupational, again, your finances and your occupational prowess, always trying to emasculate you in some way, shape, or form. That's always been a chronic thing. This whole emasculation process, this whole basically, they have these guys that will always revolve around you. And they're always guys that are either taller than you or more muscular than you. And they'll just have them revolve around you. And what they'll do is they'll take an attractive female and they'll have that attractive female around you, and she'll stick around her basically the area that you're at, and you'll be in that area. They know you're going to be in that area because they've already patterned what type of things you're going to be doing. And she might glance at you, or she'll just hang around. And then what happens is they'll have another guy, right, that might be as good looking as you, better looking than you, and then they'll have him come through it. And the thing about it is, the reason why I'm bringing this up, and I know that this is not just normal like behavior, and that this is COINTELPRO and a psyops, kind of like that type deal, is because this isn't. I've lived like 21 years just fine without seeing this repetitive theater, is what it's called. It's repetitive theater. And it's about emasculating you and trying to beat you down, like literally trying to beat down everything. They're targeting your manhood with females spreading STDs, like basic STDs, just either herpes or HPV, and then having men like your classmates come up to you, tell you that they're giving it to you, tell you what they're doing, tell you they're targeting you, tell you all these things, and then say that he never said it, right? And then walk off and say he never said it. You'll go through life and you'll be doing things in your private quarters. You'll walk outside and these women will walk by you and make remarks. Men, people, just people in general, complete strangers, will make these remarks about things that are going on in your personal life. And it's about fear mongering and so forth. So July 7th, I told you, this lady, she calls me, then she doesn't give me any information regarding my occupation. Since my arrest, everything, all of my social feeds, everything that is via communication. So my cell phone calls, any notifications that I get, any whatsoever, on Facebook, on any dating app, on any calls from anything that I do in my activities of daily living. I call it my administrative things. So things like doctor's appointments, veterinary appointments, insurance, phone calls, anything you can think of or derive out of your basic utilities, right? Anything. They're going to make sure to call you twice now, all of a sudden. So they change up the way they communicate with you. Instead of just leaving a voice message or emailing or just calling once, now all of a sudden it's about targeting these misdemeanors. Oh, you got 2 misdemeanors, so we're going to put two trash balls on the bench in the gym locker room. When you go in, there's going to be 2 paper towels there. And everything is about targeting this whole arrest on February 19th. Everything. All the communications, everything. You'll get, if you're just taking a break trying to depress on any of your video games, even on your mobile app games, it's always about 2 notifications from people or other players. It's always about the number 2. or they'll use the number 3. And because it's 3 in total misdemeanors, or it's 2 recent misdemeanors now, and the list goes on. So that's all new. I left the gym for numerous reasons because they continue to stalk you. But the other thing is on the 9th of July, and I started picking up on this because I didn't believe it. But what they're trying to do is always trying to emasculate you and put you at fault and then make you trip up and kind of gaslight you to second guess yourself. But this asshole, the guys that are working at the gym, have been tampering with my lock. And so when I go back to open the lock, they've tampered with the number. And so I can't get in. And so they want to make you feel like you're the mistake, like you fucked up. But really, they fucked up with the lock. And these locks are not combination locks like you would buy at the store. These are innate, endogenous store locks that are custom to this particular gym, right? So you don't even need to bring your own lock. You just use their lock. And what they're doing is they're fucking with it whenever I'm in the back and they're walking around up front. Then I'll go back and realize that they fuck with the numbers. I left. I'm tired of dealing with that. I've on numerous occasions now, like 2 or 3, I've videotaped the police harassing me still regarding the white SUVs. I'm going to show you some of that today. I went to the veterinarian and the lady was gaslighting me about rabies vaccinations. I asked her if I could just exclusively get a rabies vaccination for my dog. Her reply is, "Well, we can't do that. We have to give you an annual checkup, and then we can do it." And long story short, that's not true because the Humane Society actually had like rabies shot clinic for free. Okay. And then this is what the front lady told me. And then when I was talking to the vet, she's like, "Yeah, we could just give a rabies shot. No big deal." And so what they do is they're gaslighting you, right? And this veterinarian, she's a redhead and blue eyes, older lady, and she looked peculiar. And so the next day, and they ended up like hitting me with like a $300 some bill. And that's kind of the thing, is they're running with this whole 3 thing because of the 3 misdemeanors that they're hitting me with. So now everything is about getting you to the number 3 in any which shape, form, or capacity. We're going to call, if you don't answer your phone the first time, no longer are we going to call you just twice. We're going to make sure to call you 3 times to get it across, right? And so it's just this perpetual pendulum of how can we use the number 3 now because to harass him. So long story short, the next day I'm leaving the gym and this lady and this set of guys were waiting for me outside the gym as I'm leaving and they timed to make sure that they were at the stop sign. And I thought it was kind of outrageous that I got hit with the 300 because all I wanted to do was the rabies shot. But long story short, this lady who looks like the veterinarian, this is 24 hours after going to the vet, that looks just like the veterinarian, is like jogging, basically walking, and then she's exercising though. She's got her walker shoes on and her shorts, and she's with this other guy basically. And she waves to me and says, "Thank you," like that. "Thank you," right? And this is after they gaslit me and everything. So it was almost like you felt like your money was being stolen, right? And then she shows up as a mimic or a mirror the following day. And then she puts her hands up and says, "Thank you." And the whole time, as you're leaving, there's people at every intersection, like crossing. And they could have crossed at any number of times. But because they're stalking you, they're aware of when you're leaving your egress. They're there at the exact second you're there, knowing that that's where you're going to be. Okay. And so they're able to make these psychosocial communication in this psychosocial theater of abuse and ambient abuse by proxy. And so as I was approaching that crosswalk where she was, they were also using another man to kind of again emasculate you. And then when you turn, there's a guy wearing this blue shirt and he's by this blue sign, and he made sure that he was crossing there because you were going to be crossing there, because at that second or that series of seconds you were going to be in that area. And so again, like I've showed you on previous vlogs, that was the same thing. Okay, so I have this on video as well. Let's see here. They sent me wrong reminders. One of them says come in at 9:50. The other reminder said come in at 2 o'clock. They're using the number 9. It was always 2 o'clock. And they're using the number 9. They know that like my number is 9. And they're using 50, like half. Okay? And they've been using this verbiage all the time. Everywhere I go, he's gonna get it all. He's gonna only get half. He's gonna get it all. He can have it all, or he can have half. He can have it all, or he can have half. He's only gonna get half. They will walk around anywhere in public setting and have a conversation after Joseph Rose tells me all of these things about my life, that I could have half, that I could have it all, and just nonstop gaslighting me, and then taking strangers and then having them walk in my proximal space, conversational space, right? Proxemics, 8 feet, right? Or in that area, and then have them constantly gaslight you with that verbiage. Oh, he can have half, he can have this. And so they're using, for some reason, they had me timed at 09:50 in the morning when it was over the phone confirmed 2 o'clock. And they're using 09:50 for some reason. Okay. This is VCA Becker, by the way. I mean, there's all kinds of things going on here. And then I had ordered something around the 14th of July. It looked like the desk. So I had this purpose for a standing electronic desk. So I'm not sitting all the time, because I'm doing a lot of reading, I'm doing writing, I'm doing typing, all that good stuff. But it's not good to sit. I ordered the standing electronic desk, and they said it would be in on the 16th. When the 16th came around, they said then it would be delivered on the 22nd, using this semantics again regarding the number 2 and the 2 misdemeanors that they charged me with on February 19th. Okay. And so it was scheduled to be delivered on the 16th, as Amazon had written to me that it would be there on the 16th. And instead, they didn't deliver it that evening. They sent me an update saying it would be there no later than the 22nd. And so they're using, again, the 22nd, okay, to abuse you. I took an exam, and it was a pain in the ass. They were cyberstalking me during the exam. I was navigating the exam screen, and they were making sure that when I clicked on certain buttons, that the exam backed out, and that I would lose time on the exam waiting for the proctor to reload everything, right? So you're supposed to be navigating this exam, and you should be able to save your answers, for example, or flag your answers and go back. Or if there's a privacy agreement, a service privacy agreement, confidentiality agreement, and it has a blue hyperlink, you should be able to click it, read it before you hit, okay, I agree. And when I was doing all of these things, every time I clicked on something, they made sure to back out of the entire exam and forced me to go through it all over again. And then I had to wait for the proctor to sit there and acknowledge that I had been backed out. And so this happened multiple times while I was going through this exam. Okay, and then I ran out of time on the exam. Everything that I do, everything that I touch, it's about subversion and sabotage of everything that I fucking do. Okay? This is me today. I'm going to do a screen share. This is me today going to a federal court to get copies of my lawsuit. And this is what I had to deal with on the way there. Okay. So I'm gonna just do it real quick. Like I said, I'm not trying to be on here any more than about 20 minutes because there's a lot to upload and a lot of like organization to do. Long story short, they start with these red vehicles and it's always around the corner. They always do this corner thing. Like you're never gonna come across for some reason just vehicles driving normally. They're just gonna come around this corner to intimidate you. Like we're around every corner, sending this subliminal message. We're around every corner. We're here to startle you. We're around every corner. And they're going to start with these color patterns. It's always the red vehicles or the white vehicles. And it's been black cars for some reason lately. I don't know why, but it's been black cars. And then blue vehicles will come up after they've driven by. So it starts with, again, it's been this red vehicle thing for a decade or more now, at least since about 11 years, I guess now. So this is, for some reason, it was always this around the corner bullshit. And it's always these red vehicles. It's always this red SUV deal, red truck deal, red car deal, whatever. And now when you come down here in front of you is this red truck in front of you going down the road, making sure that it's in a line with the parked red vehicle over here and the white SUV. And they make sure to park because they know you're leaving. Everything is staged. Everything is premeditated. Okay. Before you leave. This is me just talking about it. This is me saying, this is why I don't work. This is why I don't work and go out. I had to decline a surgery program 3 times. They made sure to send it to me 3 times, which is, again, that harassment deal. But they sent me an invite 3 times. And this is exactly why I don't go and do anything in the surgery program. I don't go out and do school anymore anywhere, because this is the problem right here. This is the problem, is you can't just go out without being fucking followed everywhere you go and intercepted. Okay. Everywhere you go, they're showing you the same vehicles and you can't just fucking drive. And you see right here, just like in vlogs 80 and 90, you have this white SUV intercepting your line of sight the second you get onto this on-ramp. And then what they do is they like purport like everything's normal. And you see how there's a big gap right there? There's a gap right here because they're basically video gaming you using this technology, literally video gaming you at this point. And so they've left you by yourself right here. And what's happening right now is, what you don't see behind me is like a Tetris. They're moving the blocks in this car. In this case, they're moving the cars and the SUVs in a choreographed fashion so that they can make a pass by. Okay, these are handlers essentially. These people are strangers and they're handlers, okay, to harass you. And this is visual deprivation, okay, of normalcy. So what you have here is these vehicles, they're acting and purporting as if things are normal and they've got it going on. And then all of a sudden you're hit with the same thing that I spoke to in a couple of vlogs ago, which is this shit right here. We're going to harass you and drive beside you using the things that piss you off, right? And we're going to stalk you. And what they did, you can see here on the opposing lane, they made sure that one of these was passing by simultaneously as these two were coming through, so that it was in your visual field as well, right here on the left. Okay. And they made sure then to sandwich you, to provoke you, intimidate and antagonize you, right here. Okay. With white SUVs. Again, this is why, imagine going to school and shit and always dealing with this every single fucking day, every time you fucking drive somewhere. And so what they do is now they're crowding your visual field with these white SUVs, knowing that these are things that you want. And then you have this black SUV right here. Now, I told you the story behind the black SUV, but it's not a story that I speak of a lot. But the story behind the black SUV, which is basically what they did was they came through and traumatized you over the things in your past, and they have people come into your reality. The only reason why they're making communication with you is to fucking abuse you and then carry that abuse and trauma, that relational stress, later into your life, and to keep it swarming around you at all fucking times. And in this case, it's this right here is a black SUV that's been around in numerous transits all the time, just like the white SUVs. And these white SUVs are a relational stress with this girl named Kirsten Mail. And Kirsten, she's a good looking female, and she tries to emasculate me and blackmail me, saying that she has the same things that I have. And then in conversations, when we're just having normal conversations over the phone, she likes to say, fuck you, or this, that, and other thing, and all of these derogatory things, right? And so at the same time, she's using lust and she's using her feminine. It's not feminine, it's really fucking toxic. But the toxicity, the femininity, the sexuality, the lust, and all of these things into a ball, basically, of toxicity, right? Bubbling, fumigating, fucking emotion that she's eliciting from you. And then she'll yell, and then she just left, okay? And I said, I'm not dealing with it, so I left. Long story short, now since that time, they'll bring in with higher frequency the black SUVs, okay? And she has this thing going on where she like to say fuck you a lot, right? And then this is what they do is they'll take the black SUV and keep it around your visual field as a form of visual deprivation. And they'll bring in the white SUVs knowing your mother was food poisoning you is the reason for all of the problems that you had in school, and all the things that they're doing to emasculate you. This is where all of this comes to basically a pinhead, if you will. And so they'll keep this all around you as you're in transit, going to and from school, work, groceries, gym, whatever, right? So here they are. They're just following me into and making passes, basically. And what they're doing is intimidating you. You'll see I'm coming off the exit right here to the right, and they'll make sure to do a blow-by. The blow-by is so common. You see in the very beginning that they did a blow-by right here. Right here. Okay? They did a blow-by. The second you come up there, just like all the other videos I've been showing, they'll do a blow-by as you come onto the off-ramp, onto the on-ramp in this case. And then they do this again. They'll do the blow-by where they intimidate you and sandwich you, and then they'll do this bullshit and have the black SUV. And they're making connections, basically. They're orchestrating a reality of poor social milieu. All right? And then what happens is you're getting off on the exit. And the other thing is, hold on one second. I forgot. There's a very vital piece of information here. They know that this section right here, do you see this? This section right here has multiple directions. And they know that you got to make a decision. And so what they'll do, this is so common. What they do is they'll plan your transit. And what they'll do is they'll plan when you have to make those decisions. When you have to make the decisions, right? And you're supposed to be paying attention. What they'll do is they'll come around like this, just like they just did, to make you fuck up. And really, my GPS wanted me to use exit A. Okay? But I was here, and I remember throwing out some curse words here. Or no, hold on. I was just talking to myself like, goddamn, like, what the fuck? Here we go again. And then I said, well, there's got to be an alternative. So I switched right here, right? I went D. But long story short, you'll see how they anticipated that I have to make a decision right around here. And they know this. They fucking know this. And this is exactly why they came around this area, knowing that I got to make a decision here. Okay. So that's how that works. Okay. Because I think I was supposed to get off one earlier, I believe. That's what my GPS was saying. But long story short, They seen that I was over here in this lane. You see that? You see how I'm in this lane? I'm in lane, this is lane 2. Look what lane they're in. Do you see how that works? Look what lane the vast majority of them just did. Look what they just did. You see how that works? You see I'm supposed to be over here, and you see how they did a screen pass like that? They'll do this shit with people. Okay, they'll do this shit with people. People know that you're supposed to be going certain places. So what they'll do is they'll stop you in the middle of the hall. They know you're supposed to be out doing something that's time sensitive. And then what they'll do is they'll come up to you and try to have a conversation. And if it's not a positive conversation, it'll be a conversation of confrontation. Okay, knowing that there's something time sensitive to accomplish. Okay, this is no different. I should be in lane 4. Okay, knowing that I'm going in D. And what they do is they start skirmishing around you, okay, to get you to fuck up. And they'll do this in the medical programs too. They'll hand you the wrong instruments. They'll hand you one suture, something that you think might be one size too small or too large or too small. And they'll just start fucking with you. However they can fuck with you, this is what they do, okay? So you come down here, and there's always this red vehicle thing going on. You see the red truck over on the overpass here. This vehicle here does the block pass, like I mentioned. They always do this right on the on-ramp or the off-ramp. They're going to do this to intimidate you, to make sure they intimidate you. And the license plate here looks like Alpha 31, Alpha 32, 1 Alpha. Okay, it's a Jeep of sorts, but it's Alpha 32, 1 Alpha. Okay, and they're going to intimidate you here. And what do you see down here? I'm going on this ramp. I mean, I can't make this shit up. I mean, it's so fucking obvious. I don't understand how the police officer on the video that arrested me on the 19th is telling me he thinks I'm on fucking drugs. He literally says, I think he's on drugs. I think he was on drugs. This is what I'm dealing with, okay? So just like I said, on the fucking on-ramps and off-ramps, what do you have over here? I didn't even see this. I was so over it that I didn't even see this until now. And this is what I'm talking about. And this is why I say, when I'm inside my house, in my private quarters, okay, going through the rooms of my house, and I'm opening doors, I don't even realize it, but outside of my house, okay, on the main street, is fucking people driving by my house every single fucking time I open a door. I've got 2 dog kennels right now, okay? And every time I open the fucking door to a dog kennel, these fuckers are driving past. Every single time they time when I touch the fucking door. They're timing that shit, okay? I've got it on video. I'm going to upload it. Don't worry. So yeah, I didn't even see this. And this is what I'm talking about. And I don't see any of what's going on outside until I go back on my videos of my outdoor cameras. And I go and I look at my outdoor cameras, and these fuckers are driving past my house every single time I touch a fucking door. Okay? Every time. So here you go. More white SUVs. Okay? More fucking white SUVs right here. Making sure to pass by. And the only time you can have accuracy and precision is with technology. This is cyberstalking. This is a violation of local law, county law, federal law. Period. End of discussion. Okay? So I get off right here and I'm driving. Notice, what do you see right here? What do you see right here? Everything is staged. Everything is staged, just like I said. And you're trapped in this fucking world where they're staging all these things and following you everywhere you go. Right? You see this gray truck? Watch this. Okay? You see that? You see the gray vehicles in front of me? You see how they're always trying to steal your faculties? This is them literally controlling and stealing your mental faculties, something that you have a privilege to have. And they're literally fucking with them and stealing with them and causing you emotional stress, and they're keeping you under duress. That's what this is about. This is about keeping you under duress and making sure that your mind is always deviated under their fucking control, to make sure they're running counterintelligence on you 24/7, 36 fucking 5. Okay? What do you see right here? You see this vehicle. And what color is that? A gray truck. And what's behind it? A gray car. And what's over here? A gray silver, right? And then what do you see way over there? Do you see this right here? Way in the background? Watch this. Right here. This guy. You see that? They're always fucking doing that shit. They're always moving left to right. They're always crossing in front of you. They had all fucking day to do that. They had all day to cross that street. You literally did an 11-minute transit out of a 10-hour fucking day, okay? You did a 11-minute transit out of a 10-hour day, okay? And these people are timing when you're coming through, okay? You see how they're on each other's accord? You see how that works? Look how when I move it, he's on the same accord. You see that? You see that? You see what I'm saying? And so I was told that there's some type of GPS with a grid, and I'm being tracked with the GPS and some type of grid technology. You see how that works? Okay. So, like I was mentioning, gray, silver vehicles, right? And what do? Look, you see how they intimidate you? Look what they're doing. Number one, they're coming through with this, okay? Number two, they're coming through with not just the pattern, but then they're coming through again with this. Doesn't that look fucking familiar to you? Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's the same maneuver they used with the white SUVs on the way there. So they're doing the same thing. They've got the black SUV doing the same fucking thing, okay? Doing the same thing, making sure they're around you. And then what do they have? They made sure to bring these gray trucks in, okay? Because now your visual field is surrounded by gray trucks, gray vehicles, okay? If this was normal, how come there wasn't gray vehicles coming around over here? If this is normal, okay? If it's fucking normal, if that's fucking normal, where are they here? Okay. Where are they? All right, then. So I just don't understand when I've got to listen to some shithead who thinks he's got legal authority over my life to tell me what's wrong, what's right, and then tell me what a mental illness is about or probability, okay? If you feel indifferent or you don't know, like you don't understand or you can't fucking comprehend this, then you should probably clock out, go home, give your license and certification up, and just go work a different job. End of discussion. Okay? Go home, clock out. You have no business holding a weapon. You have no business holding a taser. You have no business holding a badge and upholding Constitution or any fucking laws for that matter. Go the fuck home, clock the fuck out. Okay. And so what we have is this nonstop redundancy of these red vehicles in front of you, making sure that there's red vehicles doing the same thing, making sure the black SUVs constantly lingering around you at all fucking times. It's the same fucking thing everywhere you go, okay? And this is literally at the court. This is me literally stepping into the court. They have a red vehicle like this, every other deal right here. And the list goes on. And then they know they saved this parking spot here and they've got the white SUV here. It's the same shit every single time, okay? Every time. You go in there, the clerk's decked out with this big old blue shirt on. And then you go in there and they've got everything in disarray. It's a pretty simple little stack of papers and a little shelf that has maybe like 8 little shelves. And it has for every shelf a certain piece of article or form you're supposed to use for certain situations in the court. They didn't even have that right. Everything you touch, everything you say, everything you do is just a fucking conundrum. It's a conundrum. It's entropy. It's disorganization. It's lies. It's stealing. It's cheating you out of life. And here we are. It's anarchy. This is the Conspiracy Broadcasting Network.